no Templars I've ever seen.
And yet there seems no shortage here.
Not what I want to think about.
They are monstrous.
You think?
It's horrible.
Prepare them. Guide them to me.
Was that the Lord Seeker?
I didn't hear him.
You will be so much more. The Herald of Andraste. It's time we became better acquainted. Come, show me what kind...
Is this shape useful? Will it let me know you? Everything tells me about you. So will this. Watch.
You don't fool me, demon. I see through you. I see through you.
Being you will be so much more interesting than being the Lord Seeker. Do you know what the Inquisition can become? You'll see. When I'm done, the Elder One will kill you and ascend. Then I will be you.
This Elder One thinks he can become divine? That's the oldest conceit of mortals.
He knows. He was there. Glory is coming. And the Elder One wants you to serve him like everyone else. By dying in the right way.
Keep talking, then.
I am not your toy. I am Envy, and I will know you. Tell me, Herald, in your mind. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you see.
You think me a fool? Explain this. Tell me why we shouldn't kill you now.
Our enemies have surrendered unconditionally.
The Inquisition's strength rivals any kingdom in Vegas.
Our reach begins to match my ambition, but we will strive for more. Is imitating what you can't have your only pleasure, demon?
Accusing. Trying to find my weakness. Is that the man you are? Were you in earnest when you chose the People's Flag for the standards? For when I am you, The people will never forget what you do to them.
Who would stand against us when the Inquisition commands nations? No one wise.
The Chantry fell. The Herald saved all of us. Our army could tear down the king.
No force matches ours with strength.
Do you see how glorious my Inquisition will be after you die at the hands of the Elder One?
You're hurting, helpless, hasty. What happens to the hammer when there are no more nails? Wait. Envy is hurting you. Mirrors on memories. A face it can feel but not fake. I want to help. You, not envy.
Who are you? I've seen you before, have I?
I've been watching. I'm Cole. We're inside you. Or I am. You're always inside you. It's easy to hear, harder to be a part of what you're hearing, but I'm here, hearing, helping, I hope. Envy hurt you, is hurting you. I tried to help, then I was here, in the hearing. It's not usually like this.
The least I can ask is that things make sense in my own head.
It never works like that. I was watching. I watch. Every Templar knew when you arrived. They were impressed, but not like the Lord Seeker.
The Lord Seeker is an envy demon. It wants to be me.
Yes. It twisted the commanders, forced their fury, their fight. They're red inside. Anyway, you're frozen. Envy is trying to take your face. I heard it and reached out. And then in. And then I was here.
All right, Cole. Can I get out the way you got in?
Yes, but I think you would die. It's your head. You shouldn't be out of it.
Then how do I evict everyone else?
All of this is envy. People, places, power. If you keep going, envy stretches. It takes strength to make more. Being one person is hard. Being many, too many, more and more, and envy breaks down. You break out.
So, if we keep moving in my head, we tire envy into submission.
Maybe. I hope it helps. It's more than sitting here waiting to lose your face. This way. Ideas are loud here. Make them louder. Think of water.
Think of water?
Yes.
That thing can't help you. I will see more. betrayed allies will curse your name. Like the first Inquisition, you will bring blood and ruin and fear.
Unless you don't. You don't have to. None of this is real unless you let it be.
Get out, thing! I am learning!
Have you gone completely mad?
The Herald has questions, Commander.
Is it my turn to be branded a traitor for questioning what we've become?
It's dark, but it isn't real. Think of sparks. Keep going up. You're more you there than you are envy, and that tires it out.
Good. I think. What do you say to your crimes, heretic?
This is a farce. I demand justice.
Have it. Take her to the gallows. Mother Giselle is no heretic.
Any who challenge the word of Andraste's herald will be corrected.
Baron, do you confess to conspiring against the Herald of Andraste?
I confess nothing. The Inquisition took my land and turned out my family.
Then your sons will be executed in the absence of a declaration of guilt.
The Herald has questions, Commander.
Is it my turn to be branded a traitor for questioning what we've become? I deserve it. But let me turn the Inquisition into a butcher's pit.
It's dark, but it isn't real. Think of sparks. Keep going up. You're more you there than you are envy, and that tires it out.
Good. I think.
The dwarf failed, Seeker. The breach is still in the sky. For all you know, he intended it this way.
what he wants me to confess.
I haven't seen enough.
Chevaliers couldn't stop them?
There weren't enough of them, boy. Val Royaux is burning. The Herald March is here next, bringing even more demons.
I'd die before I let that happen.
Righteousness suited the Lord Seeker as well.
You're letting the Herald see more to sketch his shapes, but what he sees makes him stronger.
Quiet! You wish to be difficult? Then see the legacy of the Inquisition. Its followers hosts to demons, your world ashes. Show me what you do with them.
Almost there. Keep going up.
What then?
You're making it hard for Envy to think. It'll probably come out soon. It's angry, but that's okay. So are you.
No!
Run!
Almost there. Keep going up.
They say the Herald summoned these demons up. An abomination. Why did no one leave?
What are you doing?
almost there. Keep going up.
Unfair, unfair! That thing kept you whole, kept you from giving me your shape. What could you gain from being me?
What could you gain? What? Ah! We'll start again. More pain this time. The Elder One still comes.
It's frightened of you.
Get out of...
The Lord Seeker!
No, an imposter.
That monster ensured we weren't prepared. I still don't know what we're up against.
I'm sorry. An Envy demon replaced the Lord Seeker.
Envy? Then the Lord Seeker.
Is caged or dead. Maker. It used the red lyrium to corrupt the Order, didn't it? I knew that miserable stuff was risky. They often give us new kinds of lyrium, our commanders. Some used the red stuff first to prove it was harmless. The Knights would have been next. That demon turned our leaders so we couldn't question when this started.
Will you keep blaming yourself, or help me end this?
Templar, what is envy?
A coward, brother.
It studies, makes less mistakes, but most of all, it hides.
We need our veterans. Our commanders have turned, but the lieutenants may still be fighting. We'll hold the hall. You find the lieutenants and the uncorrupted lyrium stores. Bring them here, and I'll give you envy. Show those things no mercy.
Free to pass. I hope you're what they say.
Allow me. I could do that if you wish. I hear fighting. We should return to the Great Hall.
In time.
How many Red Templars have you fought?
Some broke through to siege the hall. More will come.
Fighting. We should return to the Great Hall.
You bless us. I feared you were dead.
Just get to the hall. Ferris will explain.
Fight well.
Fighting. We should return to the Great Hall.
It's good to see you alive, Herald.
Head back to the main hall. We'll meet you there.
Of course.
I hear fighting. We should return to the Great Hall.
We'll make sure this side stays clear. The others need you.
I hear fighting. We should return to the Great Hall.
Keep the hall. Trust us. Show them the way.
Thank you for the assistance.
The Elder One wants her dead. Empress Celine. He hates her, haunts her, wants her dead, but hides. Why? He hid other things too.
The Elder One has targeted the Empress of Orlais.
Perhaps Liliana can discover why he wants Celine's head. This must be the red lyrium the Lord Seeker gave the Templars.
The same kind we saw by the breach. Where did it come from, I wonder?
Here, the untainted lyrium Barris told us about.
I hear fighting. We should return to the Great Hall.
Goodbye! Maker. What happened to them? Regroup with Barris. He'll explain the plan. Good luck.
Ready to follow. On your order.
That's all of them. Back to your posts. Right. Keep them off us. We'll break this beast.
Red Templars, coming through the barrier.
So much of you. But you are selfish with your glory. Now I know one.
Dark and desperate. Death to make yourself alive. I used to be like you. I'm not anymore. You shouldn't be either. Trying to hide.
Silence!
The demon is dead. Andraste be praised. She shielded you from its touch. We've numbers across Thedas, but we let this happen. Our officers either failed to see it, or were complicit. The Templars are ready to hear what the Inquisition needs of us.
There was corruption here, but also I see valor and honor in each of you who stood fast. Rise tall again. Help the Inquisition seal the breach before it swallows us all.
You speak truths we should never have ignored. But the Order is leaderless, gutted by betrayal. We must rebuild it.
Your order is a symbol that holds the people's respect. That cannot die today. We offer you an alliance. Supplies, weapons, grounds to shelter you. All we ask is you help us close the breach.
Do we take the Inquisition's terms, brothers and sisters? The Templars will come. I hope your stronghold is ready.
We'll be ready for anyone willing to throw their hat in with us.
Officers betraying their soldiers, Templars without leaders, a demon imitating the Lord Seeker. We should have taken them to task. The crimes they've committed.
Were committed by their officers. The soldiers of the Order will serve.
These crimes put them at our mercy, yet the terms of this alliance do not benefit the Inquisition as they should. You should have consulted us, Herald.
The Order was in chaos. We had to shape it going forward or risk losing it entirely.
An alliance with the Templars was our desired outcome. May we discuss their imminent arrival?
A few dozen veterans are coming ahead of the rest to help seal the breach.
How soon until these veterans arrive?
They're almost here. Templars don't like to be late.
Wait!
I came with you to help. I would have told you before, but you were busy.
That's fine, Cole. You just startled us, appearing out of thin air.
I wasn't air. I was here. You didn't see me. Most people don't until I let them.
Call the guards. This creature is not what you...
A moment, please, Cassandra. I would like to hear why he came.
You help people. You made them safe when they would have died. I want to do that. I can help.
Cole saved my life in Theronfall. I couldn't have defeated Envy without him.
But what does he want now?
I think he really is trying to help.
I won't be in the way. Tiny, no trouble. No notice taken unless you want them to.
You're not honestly suggesting we give him run of the camp?
Not freely, perhaps, but it seems a waste to... Hold on.
Where did he go?
I'm sure we'll find him somewhere.
Yes, we must make sure of that. I'll have people watch the boy. But let's not be distracted from the breach.
We'll need your help when the Templar veterans arrive. Take time to prepare while you can.
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Cole.
And my miners appreciate...
work?
Let us begin. Let's see what we have.
That will help. Please tell me if you find something. Hello? Can I help you with something?
You said you were a mage?
No, just an apprentice. I was never very good at magic. I've got just enough talent to be a danger to other people. Travel safely.
These truths the has revealed to me, as there is but one world, one life, one death, there is but
I saw the leader of the bull's charges, that Iron Bull. He is
Good day to you. We've gotten a new shipment. You'll have what you need.
Your quartermaster. Heard you found something that had to do with wardens. Would have liked to have seen it. I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things that need your attention. You didn't have to take the time to help me, and yet you did.
If the history you pursue benefits the Wardens, then it was worth it.
I've never been more certain of my decision to join you.
There will be opportunities for us to do even more in the future.
Then I look forward to it.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Ugh.
You're kind of a force of nature, aren't you?
When I need to be.
It's impressive.
You flatter me.
I'm trying.
Did I do the right thing? What I have set in motion here could destroy everything I have revered my whole life. One day they may write about me as a traitor, a madwoman, a fool, and they may be right.
You didn't have any choice.
Didn't I? My trainers always said, Cassandra, you are too brash. You must think before you act. I see what must be done, and I do it. I see no point in running around in circles like a dog chasing its tail. But I misjudged you in the beginning, did I not? I thought the answer was before me, clear as day. I cannot afford to be so careless again.
Can't say I'm not grateful to hear that.
I can be harsh, I know. You've said you don't believe you're chosen. Does that mean you also don't believe in the Maker?
You're asking a dwarf?
You're a surface dwarf. I've known some, like Varric, who... I suppose it doesn't matter now. I have to believe we were put on this path for a reason, even if you do not. Now it simply remains to see where it leads us.
Something must be done, immediately.
Nothing will be done.
Commander Cullen said the same thing. It's an outrage. There are mages here we know are guilty of heinous crimes. You would let that pass?
Yes, as will you. We are not here to coddle the Order. You are an ally. Act like one.
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
Is there an issue with the Templars? Can I help?
The Templars need to learn they have other uses than hunting mages. It's not easy for them. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
Well, I hope it works. What other choice do we have?
Oh. I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
You're flattering me.
I'm not. This always happens. Nobody ever takes my meaning.
You should see your face.
I'm thinking less flattering things now. Let's hope the breach has your sense of humor. It occurs to me I don't actually know much about you.
What do you want to know?
I'm not sure. Where are you from?
Ostwick, primarily, though my business took me around the free marches.
Ah, the Carter. Odd that organized crime could be a dwarven pastime, but there it is. Tell me, do you consider the free marches your home? Are you eager to go back?
Wherever I am is home enough for me.
That's how I feel now, after years of tending to business for the Divine.
I'd like to get to know you better.
There's not much to know.
You're being modest?
Do you think me a braggart?
No. I think you're interesting.
As you wish. My name is Cassandra Pentecost, daughter of the Royal House of Navarra, 78th in line for the Navarran throne. I joined the Seekers of Truth as a young woman, and was with the Order until they withdrew from the Chantry. I remained as the Divine's right hand, carrying out her order to form the Inquisition. And here we are. That's all there is to know, my lord.
You're a member of Navarra's royal family.
The Pentecosts are a very large clan. Half of Cumberland could say the same.
Really?
No, but it feels that way. I have hundreds of relatives so distant they need charts to prove we're related at all. And they have them. Oh yes. The Pentecosts value their precious blood like it runs with gold.
And you joined the Seekers to get away from that?
It was a life worth getting away from. The Pentecosts are famed for dragon hunting, but few actually pursue the craft. Most are fat and lazy. They pay lip service to the Maker and care only for idle pleasures and past glories. My brother was all that kept me in Navarra. Once he was gone, so was I.
Tell me about your brother.
Anthony was older than I, a dragon hunter, who showed what a Pentecost could truly be. I idolized him. I wanted to hunt dragons as he did, even though our uncle forbade it. Anthony promised to train me in secret. We would hunt together one day, brother and sister, vanquishing the beasts of old. And then he died on me.
sounds really awful.
It was the end of everything I knew. A group of apostates wanted dragon blood, and wanted Anthony to get it for them. He refused, and they killed him for it. In front of me. I begged the Chantry to let me become a Templar. Instead, they sent me to the Seekers. It took many years to let go of my drive for vengeance.
I think I understand how you felt.
At times I could not breathe. The rage nearly choked me. I sometimes wonder how different my life would be if Anthony was still alive. Would I be a dragon hunter? Married to some noble fool, a mother of 3? I cannot say. I take solace in believing the Maker has a plan, but he is not always kind.
You don't seem to like your homeland much.
My family polluted it for me. What little I saw of my homeland was through the bars of a gilded cage. My uncle treated me like a porcelain doll to be placed on a shelf and dusted only when necessary. Thus I did not see Nevarra, the real Nevarra, until much later. By then I realized I knew it not at all.
Your uncle? What about your parents?
They had the misfortune of taking the wrong side in the second attempt to overthrow King Marcus. The king executed them, but spared my brother and I since we were family, and children at the time. Thus we were raised by my uncle, a Mortalitasi who preferred the company of his corpses to the living.
Your uncle was a Mortalitasi?
A death mage. He still is. My countrymen do not burn the dead, they bury them in special crypts. The Mortalitasi supervise the crypts, like priests. Uncle Vestalis oversees the grand necropolis. Nevarrans spend more time honoring dead relatives than they do with living ones. It is odd to be so fascinated with death and its trappings. I will never understand it.
So you were the right hand to the Divine?
To Divine Justinia, yes. And Divine Beatrix before her, in fact. The position is normally reserved for Templars of the Knights Divine, but my circumstances were unusual.
Unusual how?
You don't know the story? Thank the Maker. I will tell you if you wish, but it isn't as exciting as some drum it up to be. The short version is that I once saved the previous Divine's life. My reward was becoming her right hand.
But what does a right hand do exactly?
What is your hand capable of? It gives, it takes, it beckons. It makes a fist. Liliana and I extended the Divine's reach beyond the Grand Cathedral. We went where she could not. After Beatrix, I was tired of the position and wanted to return to the Seekers. But Justinia convinced me to stay. Her vision for the future gave me hope.
You thought she could really change things?
Justinia knew the war was coming long before it began. She tried to avert it, but the forces arrayed against her were too strong. Sometimes you have to break a bone so it can be reset. That's where the Inquisition comes in. It was to be the answer. A means to preserve as well as an agent for change. I only wish she had lived to see it.
So what's the story about you becoming the right hand?
Sweet Andraste, do you really want to hear that? It was, what, 18, 20 years ago? Some still discuss it like it happened yesterday. The tale gets bigger each time it's told. I barely recognize myself within it now.
I'm sure you're just being modest.
I was there. I think I know what happened. To hear others tell it, I alone saved Divine Beatrix from a horde of dragons sent to assault the Grand Cathedral. Rather impressive for such a young seeker, wouldn't you say?
And the truth is?
I stumbled upon a conspiracy to kill Beatrix. A Templar Knight Commander was at its heart. And there was a dragon battle at the Grand Cathedral, but I had help from loyal mages who rallied to the cause. They freed the dragons from magical control. Without them, the Divine and I would both have died. Yet I became the right hand, and they are forgotten.
You're delightful. You know that?
No, I do not know that. I object. There is nothing delightful about me.
I beg to differ.
I think I preferred you in the stocks.
I'll let you get back to work.
Do you need something?
Can you tell me more about the Seekers?
The Seekers of Truth were born from the original Inquisition long ago, when it united with the Chantry. Seekers stood above the Templars, watching over them but also investigating magical events they couldn't handle. We were meant to be incorruptible, above reproach. How seldom does reality match the ideal?
But what are Seekers, exactly?
Those who know anything of us think we are Templars. We do not use lyrium, however. Our abilities are different, as was our original purpose. We disciplined the Templars and were accountable only to the Divine. And not even her, truthfully.
So nobody ever watched over the Seekers?
It was the Divine's duty, but she could only do so much when the truth was hidden from her. The Templars have always feared us. When a Seeker arrived at a circle, they knew trouble was afoot. That kind of power is troubling. You begin to think you are the only one who can solve the world's problems. If you don't see a problem, it doesn't exist. If someone insists it does, they are the blind ones.
Do you think that kind of problem could ever be fixed?
Possibly. Though the Seekers themselves would need to change. They were clearly not willing to, even though they abandoned everything they stood for to avoid it. In my heart, I believe they can still be salvaged, but not by their own hands.
You mentioned that Seekers have different abilities than Templars.
Entirely. A Templar's abilities come from lyrium and are designed to hunt mages. Ours come from ritual and many years of dedicated training. We cannot be possessed by demons and are immune to mind control. Useful, considering our role. Seekers can gain other gifts, though that depends on the individual.
What kind of gifts do you have?
I can set the lyrium within a person's blood aflame. Both mages and Templars bend before my will. Some Seekers use it to interrogate, others simply to paralyze. Once there was a Seeker who could use it to kill. That particular gift is considered rare.
Why did your order turn against the Chantry?
We originally united with the Chantry through a treaty that stated they would keep mages under control. It was felt Most Holy had tacitly allowed the Circle of Magi to vote on its independence, thus breaking the treaty. The Seekers saw themselves as justified, and they led the Templars into a war of righteousness.
You sound like you disagree.
We knew what was happening at Kirkwall, where the Mage Rebellion began. We looked into reports of Knight Commander Meredith's harsh treatment of her charges years earlier. But we found so many shocking cases of magical corruption, it was decided her actions were justified. If we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes...
You're right. Something should have been done.
When faced with a problem, the Seekers would close ranks and crush it. We would find an answer, but only once we felt we weren't being coerced. The moment the mages voted for independence, our response was predictable. It was difficult to watch.
How does someone become a Seeker?
Most Seekers begin training in their youth. I was much older, an exception due to my noble birth. We train rigorously for years. Our bodies and minds must be elastic to undergo the vigil, and most fail even then.
Is the vigil some kind of initiation?
It is the rite every Seeker must go through in order to summon their gifts. A full year of fasting, prayer, and separation from all distractions, including other people. We empty ourselves of all emotion, focusing only on the purity of our devotion. And the moment it finally ends, it's wonderful. Faith realized. I cannot put it into words.
I wish I could experience that.
If the vigil was not so arduous, I'd say more should attempt it. What if mages never needed to fear possession by demons? I'm told it is impossible, however. I suppose I'll never know the truth of it now.
I've no more questions.
Hello again.
May I ask you about the Chantry?
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now. They have no Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
I do. Though I understand how someone born outside of human society might think otherwise. Cast the Chantry aside and new problems replace old ones. We will have learned nothing from history. The people need stability, and the Chantry needs a new purpose. Andraste had a dream for us. It can still be achieved.
So what should that new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important. Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the Divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the poor. If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable. The Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration. They need to be freed from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
What influence does Chancellor Roderick really wield?
He's a bureaucrat, responsible for communicating the Divine's will to the rest of the Chantry. Therefore, he's accustomed to the clerics hanging on his every word, hoping his influence will benefit them. Despite that, Roderick is not a bad man. He's frightened, and believes his place is to fill the gap left by Most Holy's death. Some might agree. As far down the chain of command as he is, there is no one left above him.
How big a problem could he be?
No more than he is already. He sent his message to the College of Clerics. That is the only card he had to play. Dealing with him further only lends him credibility he doesn't deserve.
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinia?
They will try. Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new Divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All worthy clerics died with her at the Conclave.
So what happens if they can't agree on something?
Theoretically, they will argue until exhaustion takes them or they see reason. Practically, however, if the Grand Consensus goes on too long, the Chantry will crumble. Any cleric with ambition but little sense will see this as her one chance. and plenty of such clerics exist. We shall see what happens. The Inquisition must act in the meantime.
If they do choose a new divine, will you serve her?
That depends on whether she would have me. I am a rebel now, remember? And even if she would, I do not know. It would depend on what type of divine she is. I am no longer in a position to follow blindly, and no new divine could expect such obedience now.
I'm surprised you rebelled against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the wrong path. It is no different. But in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions.
Thank you.
Do you need something?
That's enough for now.
Another time, then.
You there. There's a shield in your hand. Block with it. If this man were your enemy, you'd be dead. Lieutenant, don't hold back. The recruits must prepare for a real fight, not a practice one.
Yes, Commander.
We've received a number of recruits. Locals from Haven and some pilgrims. None made quite the entrance you did.
I just hope I can help.
As do we all. It is enough that you would try. I was recruited to the Inquisition in Kirkwall myself. I was there during the Mage Uprising. I saw firsthand the devastation it caused.
Sir.
Cassandra sought a solution. When she offered me a position, I left the Templars to join her cause. Now it seems we face something far worse.
I must have this mark for a reason. It will work, I'm sure of it.
Provided we can secure aid, but I'm confident we can. The Chantry lost control of both Templars and Mages. Now they argue over a new divine while the breach remains. The Inquisition could act when the Chantry cannot. Our followers would be part of that. There's so much we can... Forgive me. I doubt you came here for a lecture.
You understand our situation. I appreciate your opinion.
Look around. Our people are well organized and committed. Despite what the clerics think, we are in the best position to help. There's still a lot of work ahead.
Commander, Sir Raiden has a report on our supply lines.
As I was saying.
Come to me, child, and I shall embrace you. In my arms lies eternity.
They've got good form. Cullen's putting his Templar training to good use.
I'm impressed by what Cullen has accomplished with the troops.
Damn right. It takes time to build a group into a team, but he's got their loyalty. Now he just needs them to make a decent shield wall, and they'll be good to go. Biggest problem for the Inquisition right now isn't on the front line. It's at the top. You've got no leader, no Inquisitor.
Cassandra's been the driving force of this Inquisition. She's the leader in all but name.
Cassandra's a seeker. From what I gather, that's a bit like a Ben Hasrath. She's a good hunter and a great fighter, but she doesn't see the big picture. Too busy searching for answers. My people don't pick leaders from the strongest, or the smartest, or even the most talented. We pick the ones willing to make the hard decisions, and live with the consequences. Who knows? Maybe you sealed the breach. The Chantry gets off its ass and all those soldiers go home and get fat.
You think?
It could happen. It won't, but it could.
A scout in the hinterland saw the Herald of Andraste. Said he sealed a rift and stopped the demons.
Go in peace, Herald of Andraste.
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter.
And my miners appreciate...
My scouts still comb the hills for clues about the explosion. I'll take what I can find.